CM Punk brutally ambushes Seth Rollins after he qualifies for Money in the Bank. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. Just when we thought the path to Money in the Bank was clear, WWE dropped a bombshell. Seth Freakin Rollins had just qualified for the most chaotic match of the summer. He was moments away from celebrating, the crowd singing his theme in unison, when suddenly, boom! The Second City Saint returned with fire in his eyes and violence in his heart. CM Punk didn't just attack Seth Rollins, he annihilated him. And now, the road to Money in the Bank is soaked in betrayal, blood, and vengeance. The match that changed everything. The night began with high expectations on Monday Night Raw. In the main event, Seth Rollins faced off against Shinsuke Nakamura and Bronson in a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match. The stakes were sky high. Rollins had been vocal about reclaiming championship gold ever since his dramatic betrayal by Paul Heyman and the collapse of his alliance with Becky Lynch. He knew the best path back to glory was climbing that ladder and grabbing the briefcase. And so, he brought everything to that match: his aerial finesse, his unmatched endurance, and his trademark chaos. The match was a spectacle. Bronson's monstrous power, Nakamura's lethal strikes, and Rollins' unpredictability had the crowd on the edge of their seats. Chairs were flying, bodies crashed through announce tables, and the WWE Universe erupted at every false finish. Finally, after surviving a tsunami splash and dodging a Kinshasa, Seth Rollins hit Nakamura with a devastating curb stomp, followed by a superkick to Reed that sent the big man flying over the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Rollins had punched his ticket to Money in the Bank. The celebration turns into a nightmare. The crowd erupted in song, serenading the architect with that iconic chorus. Whoa oh oh, Seth Rollins. Rollins, exhausted but proud, climbed the turnbuckles and pointed to the Money in the Bank briefcase graphic above the arena. This was his moment, but something was off. The camera suddenly cut to black and white static. The lights dimmed. Confusion reigned in the arena. Suddenly, Cult of Personality blasted through the speakers. The crowd erupted. Shock, confusion, euphoria, fear. CM Punk hadn't been seen since his injury at the Royal Rumble. He was not advertised. He was not scheduled. But there he was, slowly walking down the ramp in street clothes, with steel in his eyes and a chain wrapped around his right hand. Rollins froze. Gone was the arrogance. Gone was the celebration. Seth knew this wasn't a promo. It wasn't a friendly confrontation. CM Punk wasn't here to talk. He was here for revenge. The brutal assault. Rollins stepped off the turnbuckle and faced him. They stared each other down in the middle of the ring. Then, Punk struck. Bam! A steel chain shot directly into Seth's temple. Rollins dropped to one knee. Punk unleashed a savage onslaught. Chain strikes, elbow smashes, and a vicious knee to the face. The referee tried to intervene. Punk shoved him aside. More officials ran down. Punk knocked one out with a backfist. Rollins, bloodied and dazed, tried to crawl away, but Punk wasn't done. He ripped the turnbuckle pad off and smashed Rollins' face into the exposed steel. The crowd, once singing Seth's theme, was now in stunned silence. Then Punk did the unthinkable. He pulled out a pair of handcuffs from his jacket pocket. He handcuffed Rollins to the bottom rope and grabbed a steel chair from ringside. 1, 2, 3 unprotected shots to the back. The sound echoed like gunfire. Rollins screamed in pain. But Punk, he wasn't finished. He dropped the chair and grabbed a microphone. Punk's pipe bomb 2.0. Punk, screaming into the mic. You thought you could take my spot, Seth. You thought you could smile, dance, and run your mouth while I sat at home with a torn triceps and a broken soul. You took everything from me. You called me a coward. You said I was fragile. You questioned my legacy. Well now, who's laughing? You ain't climbing any ladder. You ain't grabbing any briefcase. And you damn sure ain't walking out of Money in the Bank. You called yourself the visionary. You ain't seen anything yet. You see this, WWE. This is just the beginning. I'm not here to coexist. I'm here to burn it down. The crowd booed and cheered simultaneously. Some stunned, some horrified, others in awe of the venom Punk spat into the microphone. Punk got in Rollins' face one more time. You made this personal. Now I make it permanent. And then, go to sleep. Even handcuffed, Rollins' body went limp from the impact. Medics rushed in. Punk finally walked away. Slow, deliberate, and satisfied. The fallout. Social media exploded. Hashtag CM Punk, hashtag Seth Rollins, and hashtag MITB all trended worldwide within minutes. Triple H was seen backstage visibly furious as Raw went off the air. Reports later confirmed Seth Rollins suffered a mild concussion, cracked ribs, and was being monitored for internal bleeding. WWE immediately issued a statement. CM Punk has not been medically cleared for in-ring competition and acted outside WWE protocol. We are reviewing the situation and disciplinary action is under discussion. But fans saw through it. This wasn't random. This was a storyline about to explode. Within hours, WWE announced an emergency press conference for the next night on SmackDown. Everyone wanted answers. The SmackDown response. On SmackDown, Triple H took center stage. He didn't mince words. Triple H. What CM Punk did on Raw was reprehensible. It was violent. It was calculated. But it was also brilliant. Love him or hate him, Punk just made Money in the Bank must-see. Which is why I'm making this official. At Money in the Bank, if Seth Rollins is medically cleared, he will face CM Punk. No disqualification. And if Rollins cannot compete, Punk forfeits any right to future championship opportunities for the rest of 2025. Boom. The crowd popped. The stakes had just skyrocketed. Later that night, a backstage segment aired. Rollins, in a hospital gown, bloody bandages wrapped around his midsection. Rollins coughing through pain. Punk, you want a war? You've got one. I'll drag my broken body to Toronto. I'll fight you with one arm, one leg, hell, I'll fight you on crutches. And I'll do what I should have done a long time ago, I'll end your damn career. Why Punk did it? Behind the scenes, CM Punk's frustration had been growing. His return at Survivor Series. His injury at Royal Rumble. His exclusion from WrestleMania 41. And watching from the sidelines as Seth Rollins danced, smiled, and shined under the spotlight Punk once claimed. He couldn't take it anymore. This wasn't just a return. This was a mission. Punk believed Rollins was everything wrong with WWE, corporate, flashy, inauthentic. He called him a costume wrestler, a poser, a man who's never fought for something real. And now, with Rollins' Money in the Bank hopes dangling in the balance, Punk had the power to end his dream before it ever began. Segment 8. What this means for Money in the Bank. 41:01-46:00. Narrator. Money in the Bank just got personal. Rollins vs. Punk. No disqualification. A war between two icons. One fighting for revenge, the other for relevance. And don't forget, the winner may not even enter the ladder match. This could all be for pride, pain, and retribution. But here's the twist. If Punk wins, what's stopping him from inserting himself into the Money in the Bank match? Triple H didn't say he couldn't. Which means, the chaos isn't over. It's just beginning. Fan reactions. Wrestling legends chimed in. Booker T. That wasn't just a beatdown. That was a message. Corey Graves. You have to wonder, how much did that injury take from Punk mentally? That wasn't the same man who walked out in January. Becky Lynch posted a cryptic tweet. Careful who you call fragile. They just might break you. Social media debates ran wild. Team Rollins vs. Team Punk. Hashtag burn it down versus. Hashtag best in the world. Some fans called Punk a